All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are taking a trip to the wild, fascinating edges of our own consciousness. We're going to explore those strange territories of the mind where the line between what's real and what's imagined gets, well, really blurry. We're talking about experiences that make you question everything you think you know about reality. I mean, think about it. You're in some totally bizarre dream. Maybe you're flying or talking to a historical figure, and then, zap, a little switch flips in your head. You get this jolt of awareness, and you think, hang on a second, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. That one incredible moment of clarity, that's our entry point. So here's our game plan. We're going to look at three amazing phenomena. We'll start with lucid dreaming, which, as we'll see, is on solid scientific footing. Then, we'll dig into the weird history of remote viewing, a real-life psychic spy program from the Cold War. And finally, we'll try to unravel the puzzle of astral projection. The fascinating part is how science sees each of these in a completely different light. Okay, so first up, lucid dreaming. We're kicking things off here for a very specific reason. This one isn't about belief or folklore or pseudoscience. Lucid dreaming is a real, measurable, and scientifically proven state of mind. So what is it exactly? Well, you can think of it as a kind of hybrid consciousness. Your body is totally asleep, you're in that deep REM stage where dreams are the most vivid. But a part of your waking mind, your sense of self, just clicks on. It's like the pilot in your brain suddenly wakes up at the controls, even though the plane is on autopilot. That's what lets you know you're dreaming and maybe even start to steer things. And if this has happened to you, you are far from alone. This isn't some rare fringe event. Studies show that about half of us, half the population, have had a lucid dream at least once. And for a pretty big group, around 20%, it happens on the regular, like every month. It's a surprisingly common part of being human. But this raises a huge question. How in the world do you prove someone is conscious inside a dream? The solution scientists came up with was, frankly, genius. They created a secret code. A dreamer, hooked up to sensors in a sleep lab, would agree on a signal beforehand. Once they became lucid in the dream, they would perform that signal, something they could control with their eyes. They'd look left, right, left, right. And because those eye muscles are physical, the sensors in the waking world picked it up. It was the first objective, undeniable proof of a conscious mind communicating from inside a sleeping body. Brain scans show us exactly what's going on. See, during a normal dream, the part of your brain right behind your forehead, the prefrontal cortex, is pretty much offline. That's your logic and reality check center. And with it powered down, you just accept that you're riding a purple unicorn. But in a lucid dream, that area lights up. The CEO of your brain is suddenly back in the office, allowing you to go, wait a minute, purple unicorns aren't real. I must be dreaming. Okay, now we are going to take a hard left turn. We're shifting away from verifiable brain states and into a declassified government-funded program to weaponize psychic powers. This is the absolutely wild story of remote viewing. So the idea behind remote viewing was that you could use your mind like a psychic telescope to see a secret Russian base or a hidden hostage location, all from a quiet room in Maryland. Back in the 70s, proponents tried to dress it up in a lab coat, calling it a scientific process to get away from spooky terms like clairvoyance. The goal? To turn ESP into a reliable tool for military intelligence. And you might be surprised who was listening. The US government. They were deeply worried that the Soviets were getting ahead in psychic warfare, so the CIA and the military poured a staggering amount of money. We're talking $20 million over 2 decades into a top-secret program called Stargate Project to see if it could actually work. So, after 20 years and millions of dollars spent, what was the result? The CIA hired an outside group to evaluate the whole thing, and their final report was absolutely crushing. Their conclusion, and I quote, was that the program had no value to the intelligence community. Just like that, it was done. So what went so wrong? Well, when you actually put the claims under a real scientific microscope, the whole thing fell apart. The information the viewers produced was always vague and open to interpretation. Things like, I see a structure and water. It never once produced a piece of concrete, actionable intelligence. Worse, those early studies that claimed success were found to be full of holes. There was subtle clues given to the viewers or the judges, what we call information leakage. And as soon as you ran the experiments again with strict proper controls, the psychic effect completely disappeared. It just wasn't real. All right, for our final topic, we're moving from a failed psychic program to a powerful, profound illusion that is cooked up entirely inside our own heads. We're talking about astral projection, or what neuroscientists call an out-of-body experience. And in this case, the story isn't about a lack of evidence, it's about a fascinating alternative explanation. Let's get our terms straight here. The popular idea of astral projection is that your soul, or some kind of astral body, literally leaves your physical body to go exploring. The scientific perspective is a bit different. It doesn't deny that people have this incredible sensation, but it calls it an out-of-body experience, or OBE, and it frames it as a powerful, dreamlike state, a hallucination that is generated completely by the brain. And what's amazing is that scientists have actually found the neurological source of this incredible trick. It all comes down to a specific spot in your brain called the temporal-parietal junction, or TPJ. This little area is the key to the whole mystery. So here's how it works. Think of the TPJ as your brain's internal GPS. It's constantly taking in data from your eyes, your sense of touch, and your body's position to create a unified feeling of where you are. But if that region gets disrupted, either through illness, trauma, or even direct stimulation in a lab, that seamless integration just breaks. You get a sensory mismatch. Your brain knows where your body is, but your sense of self, your point of view, becomes detached. And the result of that glitch is the profound and I'm sure terrifying sensation that you are floating up by the ceiling, looking down at your own body. Okay, so we've looked at three very different things, haven't we? A provable state of consciousness, a debunked psychic research program, and a neurological illusion. Let's line them all up and see what we've learned. This chart really lays it all out beautifully. With lucid dreaming, the consensus is clear. It's scientifically verified. You can prove it with objective signals, and we know it's a hybrid state of consciousness. Then you have remote viewing. The consensus? It's pseudoscience. It was never replicable, and the core explanation is just flawed experiments and wishful thinking. And finally, astral projection. Here, science gives us a powerful neurological explanation. We can't verify the trip to another dimension, but we can map the cause of the sensation to that glitch in the TPJ. And this really gets to the heart of the matter. Science isn't trying to tell you that your out-of-body experience didn't feel real or that it wasn't profound. It absolutely did. A dream feels 100% real while you're in it, right? The goal of science isn't to dismiss the experience. It's to find the true source. It's about changing the question from, did my soul leave my body, to how did my amazing brain create that incredible feeling? And that's what we'll leave you with. We've seen that the lump of tissue between your ears can create entire worlds that you can consciously explore while you're asleep. It can produce the unshakable feeling that you're floating in the air. So if our brains are such powerful reality-generating engines, it really has to make you wonder, doesn't it, just how much of the world we see when we're awake is also a beautifully constructed masterpiece created inside our own minds.